Welcome everybody, I'm Avery Zucco, and this is another Lost Ski Area tour. This time I'm checking out Tanglewood Ski Area outside Hawley, Pennsylvania in the Poconos. Tanglewood opened in the early 1960s as Paper Birch Ski Area. The name changed in the early 1970s to Tanglewood when the ski area was expanded, a ski lift was added, and the area became the center of a vacation development type subdivision that is also called Tanglewood. The ski area would exist in about the same configuration for the next 4 decades or so. It closed in 2007 and it missed the 2008-2009 ski season. The management was changed and a new owner-operator was picked up. The area reopened for the 2008-2009 ski season, and then it closed 2 years later in 2010. So I managed to get up here after a pretty major snowfall, which was a real treat. And this is walking across the top of the area now. This was the old parking area. It was an upside-down ski area. The lodge was at the top, and the lodge is no longer present. It was demolished a few years ago by the Tanglewood community because it had fallen into disrepair and it was the target of vandalism and arson, and so they wanted to get rid of it. Now what we're walking up the top of right now was the unload area and the top of the newer of the two double chairs that the ski area sported. So we're looking right down the double lift line right here. This was the newer Borvig double chair. And the building to the right here, I'm not sure what it was. When I would visit it, I thought this was actually the original lodge. I think it was part of the ski area. I just don't know what it was. It might have been a ski patrol building or something. I'm not sure. It has kind of like a ski area aesthetic going on. But it wasn't the lodge. The actual lodge was expanded when the area was renamed sometime in the 70s. That was torn down. You'll be able to see the foundations when I walk back in the other direction. It's actually right there. You can kind of see it in this. It's covered in the snow, but the foundations are still there, but the lodge is gone. And this field up here was actually the beginner area as well. There was a rope tow on the far side of the field. You have really beautiful views of Lake Wallenpaupack. Now one of the interesting things is that lookers left, and what you saw in the intro of this video was actually the top of another trail that's actually separate from all the trails in the main ski area. It's not actually attached. You can't get to that trail from any of the other trails here. It had its own T-bar to service it, and it was cut just so some of the houses in the development could be sold as slopeside housing. They never established snowmaking on that trail, so it was rarely ever open. They actually removed it from the trail maps in the 1990s. But it also happened to be the steepest trail at the area. I believe this is the top of the other double right here. So this is looking down the main slope. This is, I guess, their kind of like their main Black Diamond trail. And you can see the lodge and some of the slopeside houses over there. And right over here was the top of the other double chair on the other side of the trail there. That was the older Hall double chair. Mountains with almost a private vacation community built around it. And I think this is the top of the other double chair right here. That looks like I think there was a footer there, so the chair may have ended up just up top there in that open area. Alright. So what better way to tour a lost area than to actually be able to get on the snow. So this was pretty fun. Got a few turns in. It was actually pretty difficult. The snow's pretty deep, and this trail is not steep. This was their Black Diamond Trail. Aside from the top head wall, where you got some good turns in, it's pretty flat. And the rest of the ski area is like that. So this is the base. You're looking at the building that housed the snowmaking pump and the snowmaking pond. These are the footers for the bottom of the, I believe this was the hall double chair, one of the two double chairs here. And that's all that remains of the lift infrastructure. The T-bar on that other separate slope is also removed. When the area closed in 2010, all of the equipment was auctioned off. There is actually an interesting point about this. Now, it can be really hard to track down lifts for these lost areas after they close. Sometimes they're scrapped, but sometimes they go to other ski areas. And there was at least some information that I saw online that suggested that the double chair, the hall double chair from Tanglewood, this is just looking back up that main trail, that the hall double chair from here was sold to Platkill in New York. Now, I know they have a hall double chair of their own, but I don't know if I don't think it's from here. I'm not sure if they use some of the parts or not, so I'm not totally sure. If you have any information on that, that would be awesome. But that's pretty much it. The mountain had about 400 feet of vertical drop. It wasn't very steep. It was the only mountain that was around for, quite a bit until you get to Montage, for instance, out by Scranton. So it had a little core group of local riders, but unfortunately it did not survive because the terrain was limited, and towards the end just wasn't making any money. Unfortunately, it was added to the rolls of lost ski areas, but for all the people who made this their home and who skied here, a lot of good memories, and it's just in a really beautiful area, a beautiful part of the state. So that was my tour of Tanglewood ski area in the Poconos. If you enjoyed this one and you want to see more, subscribe and like this video. And as always, thanks for watching.